Whoa, hey everyone. Today's like the day the tech world just exploded. Seriously, my feed is overflowing.
I know, right? It's crazy.
It's nuts. Luckily, TechViews 10X has been, they've been like rounding everything up. So, time for a deep dive, right? We got to find the good stuff.
Yeah, it's like trying to drink from a fire hose. So much information. But that's what we do, right? We help you cut through it all.
Exactly. We're like your tech news guides,
Uh,
helping you reach the peak of tech knowledge, maybe have some fun along the way.
Absolutely.
And hey, before we forget, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this, with your friends, family, whoever loves tech news.
Everyone needs to know.
All right, let's dive into AI because it's basically everywhere. TechViews 10X has a ton on it, but OpenAI Sora is, it's the big one. What is up with this video-generating AI? I mean, everyone's going crazy about it.
It's pretty wild. Imagine you write a sentence, just one sentence, describing what you want to see in a video, and Sora just makes it. Like, boom.
Right.
Photorealistic scenes, characters, animation, everything.
Whoa, wait, hold on. Is this real? I mean, am I dreaming, or are we living in a simulation?
It's real. It's built on, they're called the fusion models. It's basically learned how to create videos from tons of data, like images, text, you name it.
Okay, my mind is kind of blown right now, but wouldn't this make deepfakes way easier to create? I'm already suspicious of everything I see online.
Yeah, that's a real concern. Definitely something to think about. I mean, the potential for misuse is there, but think about the good stuff too. Like, imagine making educational videos for each student's learning style, or hyper-realistic simulations, for training.
Okay, you're right. That's pretty incredible. But then we have this other article from TechViews 10X, and it's kind of a bummer. Apparently, Google CEO is predicting a slowdown in AI development next year, in 2025. So is it for real, or is Google just, I don't know, trying to downplay things? What do you think?
It's hard to say. There are a few ways to look at it. Maybe Google's hitting a wall, maybe there are limits with the computing power we have now. Or, maybe they're just seeing smaller gains in some areas of AI. It could also be, strategic, trying to manage everyone's expectations after so much hype.
So are we headed for an AI winter? Like, what happened back in the 80s? I can practically see tumbleweeds rolling through Silicon Valley. Yeah. What do you think? AI boom or bust? Tell us in the comments.
Well, I wouldn't say it's a bust just yet. I mean, remember, things don't always move in a straight line. We might just see things shift, like less focus on those big breakthroughs and more on practical uses and refining the AI we already have.
That makes sense. It's like, inventing the wheel and then spending forever figuring out how to make it better.
Right.
Okay, but before we go too far down the AI rabbit hole, there's this story from TechViews 10X about a popular Python AI library got hacked. That's not good.
Yeah, definitely not good. It's a good reminder that, as we use AI more and more, it becomes a bigger target. Think of it like building a high-tech fortress, but forgetting to lock the back door.
Yikes. Okay, that's not a thought I like. And I'm guessing this isn't just a problem for developers, right? What does this mean for, the average person using AI?
Well, it means we all need to be careful, especially as AI gets more, normal. Think about the tools you use, especially if they're free. Do they seem trustworthy? Do they have good security? Those are things to think about.
Okay, this is making me nervous. Anything we could do to, protect ourselves, besides moving off the grid and using carrier pigeons?
Well, that's maybe a bit extreme. But you're right to be cautious. Good news is there are things you can do. Keep your software up to date, use strong passwords, and turn on two-factor authentication everywhere you can. And, don't trust things that seem too good to be true.
Good advice. It's like the internet version of stranger danger. Okay, so next up, we're going to talk about big tech and all the crazy stuff they're up to. Stay tuned.
All right, we're back and ready to, dive into what big tech's been up to. TechViews 10X had a whole bunch on this. It's pretty interesting.
Okay, lay it on me. What are these tech giants doing now?
Well, Microsoft's doing something kind of crazy. They're challenging people to hack their new email service, the one that uses LLMs.
Wait, what? Really? Are they super confident, or is this some kind of reverse psychology thing? I don't get it.
It's definitely a bold move. They're basically crowdsourcing their security testing, getting ethical hackers to try and find weaknesses before the bad guys do.
So it's like what do they call it? A bug bounty program? But on a massive scale. I mean, it kind of makes sense, but It also feels a little risky. What do you think? Good idea or potential PR nightmare? Let us know what you think down in the comments.
Yeah, it's a risk for sure, but it shows they're taking security seriously and, being open about it. And hey, maybe they'll find some really talented hackers in the process.
Okay, that's an interesting way to look at it. But not everyone in big tech is having a good time. TechViews 10X also said that Google's got a lawsuit on their hands. Something about Google Pay and the U.S. Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. What's that all about?
Right. So the lawsuit says that Google's basically taking advantage of their position in the digital payments world. The CFPB, they want to make sure everyone's playing fair and that Google's not, squashing the competition.
The classic antitrust stories, like a never-ending battle with big tech. So what could happen to Google? And more importantly, what does this mean for us, the people who use Google Pay?
Well, if the CFPB wins, Google might have to pay some big fines or change how Google Pay works. It could even set a precedent for how other big tech companies are regulated when it comes to finances. For us, it could mean more choices and maybe even lower fees.
Okay, so we'll definitely be keeping an eye on that. Speaking of digital payments, remember how Apple Pay was like the only option for iPhone users? Well, TechViews 10X says there's a new player in town, but there's a catch.
Yeah. So there's this new system. It uses NFC, just like Apple Pay, but it needs your fingerprint every time you use it. Some people see it as extra security. Others just think it's a pain, especially compared to, Apple Pay's Face ID.
Security versus convenience. The classic dilemma, right? What do you think? Would you give up a little speed for more security? Tell us in the comments.
Okay, enough about payments. Let's talk gadgets. TechViews 10X had some leaks about the Lenovo Legion Go S. It's a new gaming handheld, and, well, people are talking. Some are saying the specs aren't so great, though. What's the deal?
Yeah, so on paper, it might look like a step back, like less processing power. But the leaks suggest they focused on other things, like better battery life and making it more portable. It seems like they're going for a specific kind of gamer, someone who wants to play on the go without worrying about finding an outlet every 5 minutes. So maybe not for the hardcore gamers, but perfect for, someone who wants to play a quick game on their commute.
Exactly. It's like a niche device, meeting a specific need. Speaking of displays, TechViews 10X also mentioned this new monitor from ASUS. It's a big deal. The world's first 27-inch 4K OLED monitor. Could this be like OLED's big break?
Ooh, OLED. The king of display tech, the colors, the contrast, those deep blacks. It almost makes me forget how much money I owe in student loans. Seriously, though, is OLED finally going mainstream? Is it ready?
It's definitely a huge step. OLED has always had, issues like it's expensive and there were worries about burn-in, but there have been a lot of improvements lately. This new monitor from ASUS, it could be what finally pushes OLED into the spotlight.
Okay, but for those of us who, aren't display experts, remind us what burn-in is and why it's a bad thing.
Right. So burn-in is basically like a ghost image. It gets stuck on your screen if you show the same thing for too long. Like imagine the outline of your game's controls permanently burned into your beautiful OLED monitor. Not good. But like I said, companies have gotten better at preventing this, so it's not as big a worry as it used to be.
Phew, that's good to hear. But OLED is still expensive, right? Is this ASUS monitor going to cost a fortune, or can, a regular person actually afford it? Let us know your thoughts. Is OLED worth the extra money, or are you sticking with your good old LCD? Tell us in the comments. Okay, but enough about displays. TechViews 10X had this story that really made me feel nostalgic.
Oh, what was it?
Nokia, yeah, that Nokia. They're launching an online museum. It's going to have all their classic phones, even some prototypes that never came out. Remember those old Nokia phones? The indestructible one?
Oh, yeah, those things were practically weapons. It really makes you think about how much things have changed. Back when, phones were just for calling and texting.
Right. No social media, no constant notifications, the good old days. But back to reality. TechViews 10X also had a whole section on security and privacy, and, well, let's just say it's not exactly good news.
Yeah, that's the thing about tech. As it gets better, so do the ways people can misuse it. And, today's news is a good reminder that we got to be careful out there.
All right, I'm officially scared. What kind of digital bad guys are we dealing with this time?
So first up, QR codes. Those little square things you scan with your phone. Well, apparently they can be used to break into a really important browser security tool.
Seriously, QR codes. Those things are everywhere. I scan them all the time.
That's what makes it so dangerous. Someone could make a bad QR code and it could send you to a fake website. And then, bam, they steal your information.
Okay, that's freaky. What can we do to protect ourselves? Do I need to, like, stop scanning QR codes altogether?
Nah, you don't have to go that far. Just be smart about it. Don't scan anything that looks suspicious, you know? And if you're not sure, use a QR code scanner app that has, like, built-in security features.
God, be careful. Okay, what else should we be watching out for?
Well, Booking.com, the website for booking travel, they have a bug, a typo bug, and it could let someone else see your trip
A
details.
typo, really? That seems, I don't know, almost too simple.
I know, right? But it just shows that even little mistakes can cause big problems. In this case, someone could see your booking, change your plans, or even like cancel your trip, all because of a typo.
Okay, that is terrifying. I'm going to be triple checking every email from now on.
Yeah.
What about people in the Web3 world? Any dangers lurking out there for them?
Actually, yes. There are these fake video conferencing apps going around. They're targeting Web3 workers, especially people in the, crypto and blockchain space. These fake apps, they look just like the real ones, like Zoom or Teams, but they're just trying to steal your login information.
Man, it's like a never-ending game of whack-a-mole with these scammers. Okay, so best defense, don't download sketchy apps.
Exactly. Only download from official stores, double check who made the app, and be careful about any app that wants a lot of permissions. And
Yeah.
if something just feels off, trust your gut. Don't install it.
All right, good advice. Always be cautious. Okay, let's switch gears for a sec. Let's talk about something a little more positive.
Mm-hmm.
ChatGPT. Remember that. TechView's 10X had a piece looking back on the 2 years since it launched. It's been a wild ride.
It really has. ChatGPT's been, I don't know, both good and bad for cybersecurity. On the one hand, it can do a lot of the work, like analyzing threats and even writing code for security tools. It's like having, like, a super smart AI assistant helping fight cybercrime.
So it's like Batman and Robin, but with less spandex and more algorithms.
Yeah, something like that. But there's the other side, too. ChatGPT can also be used by, the bad guys. They can use it to make better phishing attacks, create malware, and spread fake news. It's a powerful tool, and, well, it can be dangerous in the wrong hands.
It's all about, like, responsibility, right? Using these tools the right way. So what's the takeaway for our viewers? I mean, how do we stay safe in this new AI world?
Just be aware, you know? Understand what AI can do, both the good and the bad. Use it responsibly, and stay informed about new threats and how to protect yourself. And remember, if something online sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Good advice. Okay, so enough doom and gloom. Let's talk about something a little more fun, shall we? Entertainment. We need a little break from all this cybersecurity talk, right?
I agree. What's happening in Hollywood?
Well, the Golden Globe nominations just came out, and TechView's 10X was talking about one nominee in particular, Netflix's Emilia Perez. It's a bit of a surprise, don't you think?
It is, yeah. I mean, Emilia Perez hasn't gotten a lot of attention, so seeing it, get so many nominations is unexpected. It'll be interesting to see if it actually wins any awards.
I'm definitely adding it to my watch list. Speaking of movies everyone's excited about, HBO's Harry Potter reboot is supposed to start filming next summer. And, well, the rumors are flying. Who do you think they'll cast as Harry, Ron, and Hermione? Tell us your dream cast in the comments.
Yeah, those are big shoes to fill. Everyone loves those characters. It's going to be interesting to see how HBO handles it,
Yeah.
bringing this beloved story to a new generation.
Totally. I can't wait to see what they do with it. But before we get lost in the world of Hogwarts, TechView's 10X also mentioned some trailers, for some upcoming shows and movies we should be excited about.
Oh, yes. Trailers, those little glimpses of cinematic goodness. Which ones are you excited about?
Okay, so the trailer for Season 3 of Yellow Jackets just dropped, and it looks insane. More wilderness survival, more secrets, more thrills. I am so ready for it. And then there's The Gorge. It's a new movie on Apple TV Plus Suits. It's got Miles Teller and Anya Taylor-Joy. The trailer's intense, and the story, well, it sounds really interesting.
It sounds like we have a lot to look forward to. Plenty to keep us entertained, that's for sure.
And on that note, we're going to have to wrap up this part of our deep dive. But don't worry, we'll be back soon with even more tech news. In the meantime, stay curious, stay informed, and stay connected.
And we're back, ready for the final stretch of our tech news marathon. We've saved some of the most mind-blowing stuff for last.
It's like dessert time.
Mm.
And trust me, this is some seriously delicious tech dessert. We're talking like Straight up sci-fi stuff here.
You got that right. Remember earlier when we talked about data storage? Well, get this. TechViews 10X had this article about a French startup. They're trying to, get this, store all of humanity's data in something like the size of a server rack.
Wait. Did you say all of humanity's data? Like every cat video, every embarrassing tweet, my entire browser history?
Haha, yep, the whole enchilada. And they're using, get this, DNA. It's like they're weaving information into, like, the fabric of life itself.
Okay, my brain just melted. How is that even possible? Seriously, is this real life or am I stuck in some kind of weird simulation?
It's as real as it gets. It's called DNA data storage. They're using, well, the density and durability of DNA. Those molecules can hold a ton of information, like way more than anything we have now. We're talking zettabytes of data in a tiny space.
Zettabytes. Okay, that sounds like something my dog made up. How much data are we talking about here?
Yeah.
Like in normal people terms.
Okay, imagine every library in the world, every movie ever made, every song ever recorded, all of it, in a space smaller than your fridge. That's the kind of potential we're talking about.
Wow, okay. I'm officially speechless. So does this mean we'll all be carrying our digital lives around in little tubes of DNA? Is that the future?
Maybe not tubes, but yeah. The possibilities are kind of crazy. Think about archiving, like, important historical stuff, preserving cultures, or even, like, backing up our entire digital world in a format that could, last for thousands of years.
Mind blown. Okay, I need a second to process that. But while we're on the topic of crazy tech, TechViews 10X also had this article about Apple. Apparently, they might be working on a MacBook that can connect to the internet from anywhere, like using satellites.
Yeah, I saw that. No more Wi-Fi hunting, no more dodgy public networks. Imagine working, streaming, whatever, from, like, the middle of the desert. It would be like having the whole internet beamed directly to you.
That would be incredible, especially for, digital nomads, remote workers, anyone who's ever struggled with a bad internet connection. Ugh, I can feel the freedom already.
Yeah.
But let's get back to reality for a sec. What about something a little more down to earth, like weather forecasting?
Ah, yes. The eternal struggle to predict the unpredictable. What did TechViews 10X have to say about that?
Well, apparently, Google DeepMind has developed an AI. It's supposed to be amazing at predicting the weather, like 15 days out. Super accurate. It's like they gave a supercomputer a crystal ball.
That's a big deal. Knowing what the weather's going to do is, like, essential for farming, transportation, even just planning a picnic. And, with climate change making things more unpredictable, this kind of technology is super important.
Absolutely. But, well, you know how it is. With every cool new tech, there's always someone trying to use it for bad stuff.
Yeah, unfortunately. TechViews 10X talked about how cybercriminals are using these new domain names like .shop and .xyz. It makes it harder to spot the bad websites from the good ones.
So it's like they're trying to blend in, be sneaky. What can we do to avoid, falling for their tricks?
Same as always. Be careful about clicking links, especially if you don't recognize the sender. And even if the domain name looks, normal, always double check everything. Look for those red flags. Don't let your guard down.
Be vigilant. Good advice. Well, folks, that's it for this episode of The Deep Dive. We've covered a lot today, from AI that makes videos to storing data in DNA, and of course, all the latest cybersecurity threats.
It's been a wild ride through the world of tech, full of surprises, innovation, and yeah, some things to watch out for.
Before we go, we just want to say thank you to all of you for joining us. Your curiosity and your comments, they really keep us going.
And remember, knowledge is power. So stay curious, stay informed, and stay ahead of the curve.
And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. We'll be back soon with another deep dive into the world of tech. Until then, stay awesome.